This is Paul McKenna for PT Boxing. I'm here today down in Manchester with me, Paul Smith. How are you, mate? Okay? Stuff. Here today for one of your gym mates press conferences in Anthony Crolla. His first defence of his world title, taking on a big punching and dangerous opponent in Ismail Barroso. Obviously we've seen him fight Kevin Mitchell down at the O2 and took him out in good fashion, and now obviously Anthony has to take him on for his mandatory challenge. So big fight for Anthony and a big fight for the gym, and obviously one everyone's hoping he comes successful in May 7th.
It is, and it's a massive fight from the gym's point of view. We've just lost the world title, haven't we? Quick. Unfortunately, good fight with Frampton, good tactical fight, and then warmed up nicely, caught fire nicely. But two quality fighters at the top of the game, and every credit to Frampton and every credit to Quigg for getting through the last 8 rounds with the injury that he had. So from the gym point of view, it's a little bit of extra pressure. Crolla's personal point of view, he's grafted his balls off and worked very hard to get to the top. He is at the top, and they say it's hard getting there, but it's hard to stay in there, so he's got to keep his title now. He's got that bullseye on his back. Everyone wants to beat him, everyone wants to take what he's got, but also it's very dangerous. I hadn't seen him till he boxed Mitchell. As 99% of boxing fans wouldn't have, but they'll tell you they did. And then since the Crolla fight was mentioned, I've watched a couple of his fights, and the Mitchell fight flattered him a little bit. I think Kevin was, I've said this before, no disrespect to Kevin at all. I'm a massive fan and a good mate of Kevin Mitchell's. I've been one of his biggest fans that he's had. But it wasn't Kevin Mitchell in there, it wasn't the Kevin Mitchell of old. Yeah. The fact that he's retired probably says the lot, you know what I mean? He probably doesn't want to do it anymore, just doesn't feel like he's got it anymore, and every good luck to him. But also, that everyone saw against Mitchell was probably a bit overrated. He's massively dangerous, he's a heavy-handed puncher, regardless of what his ability level is. But he's a clever boxer, he's a good boxer, he's tough, he's strong, he's durable. And, it's a different ball game with him being world champion now.
Yeah, I think, as you just said yourself, obviously I'm not going to take nothing away from Barroso. He's undefeated and he's knocking out everyone, but I think that in that Linares fight with Mitchell, it sort of the last few rounds took it out of him, and obviously subsequently he's retired since. And I just think,
he was having wars with the likes of Cardio Hansen. There's no shame in that whatsoever. Cardio Hansen was a very, very good fighter at the time. I was at the fight, I boxed on the undercard, I boxed with the English title on the undercard. And it was a great fight. I think it was fight of the year. Brilliant fight. That was 2008. That's a long time ago to be having hard fights like that, to constantly do it. The Linares fight was a very good fight. Fell for Kevin on the night. Linares is a quality fighter, and Kevin pushed him. And just the injuries he got, the pace the fight was set at, the shots that he took and everything else. It's just obviously took a toll over a long career, but also just put the final nail in the coffin. But this is a different fight than that. And it's one that I'm very confident in Anthony winning and looking well in, because he's got a bit of nous about him, and he's got a good boxing brain on him. Tactically, he sticks to a game plan very, very good, and Joe will have that game plan. I see him in the gym working on it already, and little things Joe's saying, little moves he's trying already, and that'll all come together over the next 8 weeks in camp.
Yeah. Martin Murray is also fighting on the bill as chief support. It was rumoured at one point you and Martin are fighting, but now obviously you're going your own way, and he's doing his thing, and it looks like he's going to be taking on George Groves. So, as obviously a competitor in the weight, what you make of that fight?
I think it's a very good fight. I think it's two good styles will gel well together. It's a style George has dealt with before, and it's a style Martin's dealt with before as well. Martin's a good lad. I've just been speaking to him, and we get on well. We always have done. And when the fight was mentioned with myself, as I'm sure he's probably told, we both said the same thing. It'd have to be for something, because there was no title on the line. It was basically sort of, as I've said, it was basically an eliminated for a career. Because the loser would have no way back for that. And he's a nice lad to get on with him. He's the same morals and values as myself. He's a family man and idolises his kids, and you see that in him. And just wants to provide for them and do the best for them, and still has the ambitions of being world champion, as do I. So we want the best fights out there. It's a great domestic fight, but at the minute there's better ones out there for both of us, and I'm chasing Felix Sturm, I'm chasing anyone who's got a belt, and I've made no secret of that. I want to be world champion, I want to fight Felix Sturm if I can, and we can finally sit down and get it sorted with Eddie. But first things first, I need a win or two on my record first, and I've got 2 fights coming up on April 2nd on Callum's bill, and I want to get on this one as well, just in 6 or 8 rounds and get back.
Has there been any talks with Sturm, even minor, or is no one?
I mentioned Sturm, we broke on your interview. Sturm was in the gym, we had a coffee, we had to sit down and chat just before he boxed Tuesday off, and it was obviously, if and when you win first defence, and we both agreed on it. So he's been resting at the minute, he's been enjoying himself. Spoke to Eddie about it, spoke to someone else who was dealing with Sturm for me, and they'll have a conversation this week about it, and hopefully we can get something going and get the ball rolling. But the fact that Murray will be fighting Groves will sort of leave an avenue for me to go for that fight as well, and try and get the Sturm fight a little bit easier than having to contest it out with 2 of the British fighters who are on that level as well. Very good fighters.
I don't think at the minute there's not a more I'd love to see than to you to beat Sturm, just to prove people wrong, honestly.
Yeah, prove people wrong doesn't bother me. For me, I'd get a hell of a lot more pride and pleasure out of proving everyone right who backed me from the start. And, it's like I've had the same sponsor since I first turned pro, and they're good to me and I'm good to them, and I believe in that. I'd have only ever had one manager, one trainer, if everything worked out right, but it doesn't work out right, and I'm a loyal person, and I'll always stick by who sticks with me. So to reward the loyalty of the people that have stuck by me by winning and by being world champion, regardless of what it means to me, it means a hell of a lot to my family. At the end of the day, my 3 brothers, I believe, will be world champions. Liam's already done it.
Stephen's recently been announced finally that he's got his...
Callum's #1 on mandatory for the WBC now, and could fight for it any time, but the way it's going, Callum could end up fighting for 2 titles if De Gale jumps the queue with the mandatory, with the unification, that overrules a mandatory, so could be De Gale or Jack for both titles for Callum, so you cannot, but WBC for Callum, IBF
might be down to you, Paul, to be the 4th out of 4 out of 4.
Liam's got, and it could be, and there's obviously the De Carlos option as well. Eddie's been speaking with Salin. There's De Carlos who's going to probably fight another German in the defence of his title, and I can get the winner of that. So, what would you see as more of a?
What would you see as a tougher fight in your opinion between Sturm and?
They're all tough. If it's De Carlos, it could be De Carlos or Tyrone Zieg or someone else like that. But if fights that I'd bite your hand off for,
happy to go out
jump at them fights. I'm happy to go to Germany. I've said that before, thinking like in a fair crack of the whip, but I never. But I'm happy to go back there because at the end of the day, you can't make demands unless you're in demand. And at the minute, like Martin Murray was saying, George Groves, myself, none of us are in demand at the minute.
But you're quite well known out in Germany as well, to be fair.
I've built up a good base over there with the last 2 fights. George Groves was promoted by German promoters, and Martin Murray's fought over there himself a couple of times. So we're known over there, and with my last 2 fights being the most recent over there with Abraham, the first one was contested, obviously. So it's a decent base over there. So, like I got a couple of letters sent to the house from Germany. I didn't understand a word, and I had to take them around the Costa in near where I live, where there's a German woman in there who works there, and she's lovely, and she translated it for me, and I sent some stuff back for them. But the idea is people interested over there, so if I can make the fights happen, then great. But I just want that title. It hurt me not winning a world title against Arthur Abraham. I always feel I should have went into that rematch as a world champion, as a defending champion. And if I'd have lost my title, so be it. He won on the night, fair and square, no complaints. But I should have been fighting for the champion's money. I should have been fighting as a defending champion, and I should have world champion after my name, and I should have one of them belts in my house. But as it happened, the rest is history. Obviously, it never happened that way.
But you still can.
I need to try and get back up there again now, and I think I still can.
Definitely. I've just spoken to Martin then a few minutes ago, and he believes now that he's sort of only starting to reach his prime. Do you feel the same? Obviously,
I think
the last 3 fights have been the biggest, and
I went
you
in
performed as
the
well.
gym
So
straight after when I got back into training after the ward fight. I didn't do anything. I had a good rest, put a bit of weight on, had an operation, relaxed, enjoyed the birth of my daughter, enjoyed just normal day-to-day stuff, doing the school and not having to rush the gym and everything else. And then I've been training since probably October. And just doing it quietly. I'm not one of them who mouth off and call people out just because you're irrelevant at the minute. And I've seen too many people do that. You get injured and they hit the Twitter, slagging fighters off, calling people out. I want this fight, I want that fight. I lost my last fight and I'm injured and I'm out. So I'll keep quiet until it happens. I'll make the noises behind the scenes with Eddie, with everyone else. With Joe trying to get me them fights. But I'm not going to change the type of person I am and start being disrespectful towards fighters just to stay in people's minds and stay fresh. You know, the fighters that are winning, the fighters that are active, they're the ones you have to be supported and be, take the limelight, and rightly so. But now I'm back, I've got to get a couple of wins and then I can start making a bit of noise. The same with Martin Murray. When I went back in the gym, the first thing I'd done was had a workout or two, got on the pads with Joe, knowing that if he felt in it and was gone, he'd tell me straight away. And he'd just put his arm around my shoulder and say, lad, it's not there no more, get home. Same with my brothers, trained with them, done a few sessions with them, and they'd be the first to say to me, listen, it's gone, just go home. But it was never a case of it being gone. The 2 fights with Abraham where when I had that many hard fights, there've been wars. We're talking about Kevin Mitchell, up and down wars. There hasn't been many that I've had to go to the well too many times. I've never took a drug in my life. I don't drink much. I have a bevy once every blue moon, and I live right. I'm not unhealthy. I'm not definitely no drugs and booze and binging on bevies and all that. I've always lived right, and that adds years to your life. I believe I've always said that. You can't be out every week when you can drink, going out every night and all that. I'm lucky if I have a glass of wine in the house with me bird when I can drink. It just doesn't really interest me. So it's not a case of having that gone and talking about your prime, maybe, but no. People living longer, athletes are going on later in their careers now because of the science behind everything, because of all the stuff that you can, different types of training that you can now access and now do. Years ago, we used to have to run up a hill 5 days a week and then get in the gym and do the same workout every single day, and that worked, but it doesn't work. And people are evolving, training methods are evolving. You barely do long running now. You do 1 hill run a week. You're on the track all the time. You're swimming. You're doing everything else, and it's prolonging careers, I believe. So I don't think I'm ancient. I don't think I'm too old. I'm 33. Just turned. I've got a long time to go. Just yet. I've got at least a couple of years left.
That's it, mate. Well, we look forward to being with you for them few years. Best of luck, obviously, in the next fight, April 2nd. So we'll catch up with you then. And, thanks for speaking to us always. Nice one. Thanks.